3, 2.
I'm going to choke on my lifesaver. Hold on. Don't start the count yet. Because I had it in my mouth, and then it got soft, so I was like, I'll chew it while we're waiting for the commercial to be over.
And then
you...
And then that's my fault. I started too.
Well, that's because you're not behind the camera. You're in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
You good now?
My breath is very minty, though. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert. Not the good guy to know. Not that you're not a good guy to know, but you're not the good guy to know officially.
Yeah,
but you're still just SID Tom Ferguson pinch hitting for the good guy to know who is unavailable for filming today.
Not the GGTK,
right.
But a GGTK, if you will. Yes. Yeah, I'm pinch hitting, doing my best for our good guy to know, Danny. He's got other things going on.
Right.
You know, he's
of course.
very busy.
We're all very busy.
Important.
We just try to squeeze it in as best as we can. As long as the show's not being hosted by someone else.
Right.
Right.
No, never.
Well,
in fact, when you're not, the rare occasions when you're not on the show, it's just co-hosts.
I don't think
there is no actual.
I don't think I've ever missed the show. I have perfect attendance.
Actually,
going back to the first ever episode of Falcons Corner.
You might be right. Yeah.
Do I get something for that? Like even a certificate? Because like if you're in school, right, like grade school, and you have perfect attendance, you get like a slip at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Can we work on something?
I feel like you should get more than that.
No, I just want a slip.
Okay.
That's all.
Just like a.
Can I? Congratulations.
Can I put like a bear in like a graduation cap or something like that? Or
Yeah,
like
perfect attendance. Just put it in a frame so I can hang it up in my office with all my other stuff. All right, good. So, let's lead off with football because we are celebrating a victory. So football is 1-0, probably closer than everyone would want.
Yeah.
But a win is a win. Nassau, really came and played. They played really well. They're a very good defense, very good quarterback, especially when you have a quarterback and your receivers, your brother. You work on a lot of that stuff in the backyard, right? So it was a good combination for Nassau.
They were impressive. I thought Luke Sprague was a quarterback. I thought he was really good,
right.
And just really kind of calm. And the defense for Lackawanna honestly played very well.
Yeah, and despite the quarterback playing very well, we did pressure him quite often.
No, we got 6 sacks. I think we had 9 tackles for loss or something like that total in the game. Couple interceptions. Yep. So the defense really, really stood out. I thought for us, and the offense will come along. We have to remember while we do have Barry back, and while we've got a couple of guys up front. Right. It's pretty much an entire new receiving corps other than
all skill guys. Even if you look at our backfield.
Yeah, even the backfield. I thought there were some good signs. Right. And I think towards the end of the game, I think the most impressive drive for us was the one where we didn't score. Yeah. Was the one where we shaved 7.5 minutes off the clock and really left Nassau with pretty much no time left to try to figure things out.
And I like that defensive coordinator, Bill Reese, decided not just to sit back and let Nassau just work their way down the field and have a chance at the end of the game just to throw something in the end zone. Nope. We just kept the pressure on like they did all second half. So, kudos to football, 1-0. It was nice to see Lonnie Rice make some plays, who was our athlete of the week. Yep. Lonnie, you are going to try to get with him in the weight room or after his weight room session today. Don't interrupt his weight room session for a couple reasons. 1, I'm the strength coach. Right. 2, Coach Judah will be very upset. And 3, Lonnie really likes to work out. But he had a great game. He had a couple sacks. Probably the best post-sack celebration I've seen in a long time, where he just rolled like 30 yards downfield, after his final sack.
That was the third one, I think, on one of the final drives there. Yeah. But his play, like he ended up with 4 tackles, but he had 3 sacks, and he had back-to-back sacks in the third quarter that really came at a key moment. Right. Because at that point, we had squandered a couple opportunities with the football. Nassau had the ball back, and we're starting. I think they had just picked up a first down off of a penalty. So they were starting to move the ball, starting to matriculate. Actually, no, it was Sprague got loose, and threw the ball up. And his brother or somebody came down with it and just leaped and got a first down on a play where he should have been sacked.
Right, yeah.
And ironically by Lonnie Rice.
Right.
So next play, Lonnie Rice comes off the back end, hits him from behind, gets a big sack. Everyone's excited. Does it the same thing the other way around. Gets 2 sacks in a row. Really knocks Nassau back. They punt. We score on that ensuing possession on the opening play of the fourth quarter.
Right, and we can't forget about our 2 turnovers. Jay Wright with an interception with a nice return, and then Janasa at the end of the game to ice it. You know, it was just kind of one. I wanted him to take it back and score. I probably was thinking that too, but then probably as he was running closer to the Lackawanna sideline, I was probably hearing, especially Coach Duda, just get down.
Just get down.
You know,
get out of bounds.
You don't have to score. You know, so that keeps the streak of me never seeing Janasa get tackled. Because I saw him play in high school a lot. I always say I never seen him get tackled before. So the fact that he ran out of bounds, his streak is still alive.
He's intact.
His streak is still alive.
And I thought, speaking of new guys, Jordan Sellers, running back, thought he had a great game too. Had 84 yards, had a couple touchdowns, including the game, what would turn out to be the game winner, in the fourth. So I thought he stood out. I thought Barry looked like Barry at times too. And James Westry caught 6 passes, I think, to lead the team. So there's definitely some things to work on for sure, as I'm sure the coaches would tell us.
Right, and then I think that's the first thing that Coach Pardini, my boss now, Coach Pardini, my big guy, our big guy, our new big guy, Coach Pardini, soon after the game when I was on the field, he's like, And I was like, well, you won. And he's like, we'll fix it. And I was like, I know he will, because he's actually in his office now, going over some stuff and stuff too. Barry was not happy with the way he performed. I saw him yesterday in the weight room, which was Labor Day Monday. I still came in on our day off to work out our guys.
Laboring on Labor Day.
It's unbelievable. But Barry was not happy. And I gave him advice because I like to talk to the athletes like I talk to my son, because my son's also an athlete. I said, Barry, it's just simple. Just play better. Like, you weren't good, play better, and then you don't have to worry about it. So I gave him his pep talk, play better. So,
that's all he needed.
So he'll play better. So they have a big matchup this Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff against Monroe College, who fell to Georgia Military down in Georgia this past weekend. I think it was like 195 degrees down in Georgia.
Probably wasn't the most welcoming of confines there,
Right. So I know that the weather forecast is looking more favorable towards football, because it was also hot in Scranton on Saturday. So not much to preview because I don't really know what Monroe goes. I know that their quarterback from last year is not back.
No,
So that helps. I don't know how their quarterback is this year. I'm sure he's fine. But their quarterback last year was a very, very good player. And I knew they have a new coaching staff, I believe.
Yes, they have a new coaching staff because Terry Karg, longtime coach with the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Pioneers for a number of years. I know Coach Duda was a coach under them as well. Was the first coach in the history of Monroe, had been there since they started the program in 2012. Well, he's gone and left to go coach at Dodge City. So they have a new coach. I think it's Kevin Pulley Jr. Is his name. And the score for the Georgia Military game was 27-7, but it's a little deceiving because Monroe did move the ball and fairly well, but I think like Lackawanna College struggled kind of trying to find that final thing. And Georgia tacked on a couple touchdowns towards the end of the game.
And Georgia Military is no slouch, as we know.
No. They're a good team, and I think they had a down year last year. And I think some of the guys that are back, and certainly the coaching staff,
of course,
has something to prove this year. So you knew they were going to bounce back.
And that'll be interesting because we have Monroe this week, and then we'll talk the following week because we also go to Georgia then, and Tom is making that trip. We can talk about that, next week.
Mr. Ferguson goes to Georgia.
So I think that just puts a wrap on football for the week. How did the views goes with our new pay-per-view system?
Really good.
Everything.
We appreciate everybody that was able to tune in and be a part of it, and we kind of had some kinks in the first half. Went a lot smoother in the second half, we thought, and I think there's a lot more that we can do once we kind of get our feet underneath us in terms of value to add.
I'm not blaming anybody, but it wasn't our fault. So we'll just leave it at that.
Someone was at fault, but it wasn't us.
Yes, it was not us. We had everything the way it was supposed to be. But some things are just out of Lackawanna College's control.
And one of the cool things we got to do on Saturday, because we're celebrating 30 years of Lackawanna College football, was in the pregame where we had our two past presidents, or most recent past presidents, Ray Angeli and Colonel Mark Volk, as well as our current president, Dr. Jill Murray, all on the field at the same time.
The three presidents who's been around since Falcons
pretty much
football
for
started.
Lackawanna College
Right.
football, and got to kind of celebrate that. Did a coin toss or whatever in midfield, and I thought that was pretty cool to have those three presidents all together at the same time.
And it was nice because the fans were very appreciative of their efforts. So they gave them a couple nice rounds of applause and stuff. So, and a very nice turnout at the stadium. On this past Saturday. So
Absolutely.
That was really, really good. So let's take a break because we have to preview some other fall sports that are coming up and that are taking place this weekend, and we'll put a wrap on it.
That's right.
All right. See, Danny's not here. He's talk. He's got to be on the show for 45 minutes. You would just let's get right to the point, right? Well, that's why he's a good guy to know.
Yes,
because he has a lot of stories too.
Listen, and that's fine.
Yeah,
we're cool with that.
Yes,
we want that.
But we're going to play this commercial for Danny because we know how much he likes them.
We want him to get inspired.
Yes.
We want to inspire him and inspire the Cougars as well.
Exactly, and stuff too. So, but just let everyone know he's not suspended.
No suspension.
Not yet.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in the Falcons corner. Take flight.
Each one of us has a dream. The challenge in today's world is how to achieve it. Now, more than ever, that's the case. Don't fall behind on your dreams or your college education. You can take your general education classes in English, math, and social science locally at Lackawanna College. Our credits transfer to most colleges so you won't fall behind. Call Lackawanna College today to find out how you can stay home, stay safe, and still pursue your college education. This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College.
Hey, it's Tom Ferguson, Sports Information Director with Lackawanna College, and we're here with our first Falcon Athlete of the Week. We only had one sport occur so far, and Lonnie Rice, linebacker with Lackawanna College Falcons, joining us as the Athlete of the Week. Lonnie, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on the big win. Congrats on the performance on Saturday. You're the Athlete of the Week. You had four tackles, 3 sacks though, and 2 coming in back-to-back, big moments in the third quarter. Kind of take us through that a little bit. You're called into the game. Paul Tangelo gets hurt, and you're kind of pushed right off the bench and kind of into the game. So what's going through your mind when you're called upon in that kind of situation?
Well, number one, I was just thinking about my brother Paul at the end of the day because, him going down is like a loss for the team, I feel like, because, it's all about the team at the end of the day.
Sure.
But it's also, we go by, a next man up type of thing here at Lackawanna College. So it's like next man up, and I got to be ready. I can't be going through the motions or confused, so I got to run out there and get the job done so we can get the win.
So the play before these 2 sacks happened, you actually had the quarterback in your grasp. Dude escapes and throws a pass down.
Yeah,
he was doing that all game, first of all, but that had to be frustrating to finally get out there and then have that opportunity, and he just escapes like that. So how do you bounce back on the next play to get ready for that?
It's just like next play. You got short-term memory in this sport, in this profession. You got short-term memory. You got to know. You got to get after it at the end of the day because we all got one goal at the end of the day, and that's to get the win.
Is there kind of almost a mindset to it, the defense, where in a game like that, offense isn't quite getting the momentum you guys need or you guys want, and you need to keep stepping up and keep giving them opportunities?
I just feel like we got to, we're all a team at the end of the day, and we just got to function. We all have our down moments and our up moments. I feel like the defense just had it a little bit rolling right now, and the offense had it rolling, but, it was a little bit slow, but they still had it at the end of the day. So we just had to pick it up on our side of the ball, had to worry about what we had to do.
Well, your 2 sacks ended up setting things up for the offense because they punt away. Next possession, Jordan Sellers goes in for the touchdown. You guys get the lead, and then what's the mindset of the defense from there when you've got the lead into the fourth quarter? how do things change, or do they change really?
Yeah, we knew we just had to go out there. You know, we had to play smash mouth football. You know, Coach Duda has an aggressive D line in, and then Coach Reese put some real aggressive linebackers in.
Yeah.
And then we all just teamed up on the sideline and said, listen, I mean, it's 4 quarters in the game, and we're not stopping until the clock is 0. So we got to go get after it. So we got to go out there. We got to get the ball back to the offense so they can score potentially again.
Is there kind of a redemption story with the defense this year, as opposed to, you know, last year the defense was okay, but they gave up a lot more yardage, a lot more points than maybe we're used to seeing. So is there a little bit of that redemption running through the defense this year to kind of prove themselves?
Of course. Yeah, I heard a lot in the locker room. I heard a lot in the dorm. These type of, man, we got to. No one scores in us this year. No one gets this amount of yards, like we said, like standards for us, like game-to-game standards, and we also have a season standard where we want to hold ourselves accountable of rushing yards, getting on us, and passing yards. So we try to kind of set that standard, and we got a real high standard, so as though we can achieve that goal.
You guys have a lot of talent, I think, at the linebacker spot this year yourself. You got Jay Wright there, who's kind of a leader, if you will. You know, Paul, and even at the back end of the defense, you talk about Keno, you talk about Janasa. I mean, it just seems like you guys have a lot of guys that have a lot to prove, but are very vocal and have kind of that leadership quality for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I like, once again, I seen it when it was spring, because I came in the spring semester, so I kind of seen that these were like the vocal guys. Like the first day when I walked in the weight room, I kind of didn't know anyone, and these guys kind of like picked me up and brought me up and trying to like make me feel part of the team. So they made it more easier to transition to here and get to know everyone. And I feel as though like we can all trust each other. We all got that bond and that chemistry throughout that spring semester, and I feel like when we came back in the fall, just boom, it was easy to click.
Right. We're talking with Lonnie Rice here on Falcons Corner, our Athlete of the Week. Lonnie, where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And you went to Bishop McDevitt, right?
Yep, the one in Philly.
So that's right, because there's 2 of them here in Pennsylvania. It gets confusing sometimes. I mean, you know, McDevitt was known for always playing that really tough schedule in the Catholic League. How do you think, you know, sometimes the record wasn't as nice as you might want it to be, but you guys would come into the playoffs and still be beaten up on teams because of the competition you play. I mean, how does that prepare you for this level of college football?
I mean, because the level of competition, it just gets you used to like what they expect. You know, I didn't always come from a high school where we'd be 10-0, 11-0. So, you know, I went through a lot of adversity. So I feel as though, you know, I always carry that on my shoulders wherever I'm at. When stepping into any game, like I don't look into any game thinking it's gonna be a blowout. I look into every game like, man, there's a chip on my shoulder. We got to do what we got to do to get the job done. If this is not working, we got to figure something out and we got to get the job done. And
you guys are playing, especially in the Catholic League, against like some big time recruits, big time players. You know, you talk about like the St. Joe's Preps of the world, or even like the Cardinal. I mean, there's a lot of talent, and that probably kind of raises your level of what you need to do, right?
Because you get used to the competition, and whereas they're like, when you're in high school, you really don't like peep it. Like you really don't see it like, oh wow, these guys are really that good. But say you go to the next level and be like, wow, these guys are actually dudes, and like you don't really notice that because you're just used to playing with them. Because a lot of those guys that we played in the Catholic League, I kind of grew up playing youth ball, with Little League ball. So it's like then these guys just grow up to be these big time NCAA players and NFL players, and it's just crazy.
Right. So are there any other sports that you played in high school?
I ran track. I did track and field. I threw the javelin. I actually went to states for javelin.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to play basketball, but no basketball. No basketball for me.
Was it like a typical football player trying to play basketball?
Yeah,
just a little too all over the place?
I was good at basketball when I was a kid, but it just when you start lifting weights and pumping the iron, it's like I kind of lose that shot.
I remember when the football players came to basketball practice, the first day they came back or whatever, I got tackled into underneath the basket. And they're like, yeah, it's the wrong sport.
That was me.
So then you went to Shippensburg, obviously, for the state track and field championships.
Yep.
That had to have been a cool experience.
It was a great experience. You know, I got to meet a lot of people up there, a lot of different athletes, like a lot of football guys up there too for running track and field. I wish I was a sprinter up there, but I mean, I wasn't blessed with that one right there. But I'm kind of glad that I went out there. It was a good experience. I met a lot of friends out there too that I still talk to today. Yeah. And it was kind of a great experience. It was something new to me. You know, I never really went and traveled a lot of places for other sports, but it kind of gave me a different outlook on and viewpoint on other sports in life.
Right. So what are you studying here at Lackawanna?
Business right now.
Okay, so what do you want to do with business?
Business, I want to do a lot of things with business. I want to also do real estate, and I want to honestly, I really want to do architect and design right now. But so I'm still narrowing things, so I got a lot of things in my mind right now.
Right, yeah, and that's kind of what it is, especially, are you technically a freshman?
Yes.
Yeah, so like that's kind of what it is for freshman year. You're not even sure yet what you want to do. You're just kind of taking it all in. How did you end up at Lackawanna College?
Recently transferred in from Buffalo.
Okay.
You know, the staff, I played under Coach Leipold, who is now at Kansas, and once that staff had left, it was just like, we was all scrambling and no one knew what to do with the new staff coming in. So it was like, I mean, I know I can get a fresh start back somewhere close to my hometown, so I just ended up coming to Lackawanna College.
Right, and it's right here. It's not far from Philly, obviously.
About an hour and a half away, 2 hours. So I was like, I mean, these guys send people D1. These guys get you back on the right track, especially looking at that 2019 team. I knew a couple dudes on that team, so it was like, why can't we do it this year? So
I mean, what did that do for to kind of solidify your decision when you saw Jaquan Brisker getting picked to go to the Bears? Were you like, I'm going to the right spot?
Basically, yeah. I said, oh yeah, they got some dudes.
What was it like meeting Coach Duda for the first time?
It was crazy. It was because I was like, I never met him. I just keep hearing his name everywhere. I'm seeing his face everywhere. But I'm like, when am I going to meet him? And then the first day I met him, I was like, oh, hey, buddy. I'm like, oh, wow, this is Coach Duda right here. He gave me a firm handshake. I'm like, wow, he's kind of strong.
You got to be ready for it, right?
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I'm like, oh, he almost broke my hand. I'm kind of a strong dude. But yeah, Coach Duda was very welcoming, open arms to kind of mapped out the whole routine of what we were going to do and what we wanted to accomplish this year, and how they see me fitting into the defensive scheme this year. So it was great meeting him for the first time.
Yeah, he's a unique character, that's for sure. So you guys got Monroe coming up this weekend. I know you guys are in the midst of getting ready for it, scouting out and all that stuff. I mean, I think I know everybody's kind of talked about the ultimate goal for what you guys want to accomplish this year, but like week to week, what's kind of your goal as an individual and what you want to see the team do?
Well, I mean, the individual goal and the team goal, I think that goes for all is just get better day by day. We got to run with the schemes that we're getting at practice, just got to get better day by day and kind of understand what we want to get accomplished this week. And even though we're putting in some little things this week, I think that you guys would like to see on Saturday. We got perfect our craft at practice. So once we go out there on Saturday, we just getting the ball rolling, playing some smash mouth football out there.
Yep, that's what we hope to see. Well, Lonnie, we appreciate your time.
Appreciate you so much.
Thanks so much for coming on.
No problem.
We've got more coming up on Falcons Corner. Stick around with us. Take flight.
Hey, we're back on the Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert. The SID, from behind the camera to the co-host chair, Tom Ferguson.
Flipping it around.
Yes. So we talked football, we previewed football, all that stuff. Now it's time to look for some other fall sports that are taking place, right?
Finally,
so we lead off with volleyball. This Thursday, Coach Shelby Morgan making her Lackawanna College debut as head women's volleyball coach. Has a nice roster of players. I think it's the most, since I've been here, it's the most players we've had.
Yeah, and we've got players. I know, Coach Pete did a pretty good job kind of putting this roster together, and then Coach Morgan, she came in late enough where she was still able to kind of hold on to everybody.
Right.
And you got players from Texas.
Right. The fact that she was able to hold on to a player from Texas and Miami is just
and keep them in Scranton, Pennsylvania is a big deal. But we did media day with volleyball last week. We'll have that stuff out on the website sometime this week, as well as men's and women's soccer. And you can tell they were excited.
Right.
Hunter Heeman, who was here last year, and you talked to her a little bit. She had to watch a lot of one-sided games and had to watch from the sidelines.
Yep.
And this year she gets to play, has some teammates.
And I'm looking forward to see her out on the floor and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
I think there's a lot of anticipation, even if maybe the results are still kind of the same.
Right.
Just getting out on the floor.
But I don't think the results will be. I don't think it's definitely a different
either.
Team, a different vibe, than last year. A lot of the girls, despite their effort, they played hard, they practiced hard, they were great, but we try to do our best just to put together a roster. So none of them had a lot of volleyball experience, and if they did, it wasn't an abundance of experience.
Right.
At least the roster now is, I know the majority of girls have all played volleyball, which is exciting.
Yeah, and I know Coach Morgan's excited to get out on the court, and they've been upstairs practicing every day.
Yep, and they're in the weight room with me, so they've been in there, a couple days a week and doing their stuff, even though they're into their season right now. So, I'm looking forward to it. As game manager, I never had to be a game manager for volleyball because that was Joe's old job, is being game manager, but that has since been turned over to me last winter. Volleyball scorekeeping is stupid. That's just the best way for me to put it. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
What's stupid about it?
All of it. There's not one part that isn't stupid. The scorekeeping is stupid. The libero tracking it's ridiculous.
Now the libero tracking I'm not super familiar with. Obviously I know with the libero, but I haven't had to track the libero. But I would think the scoring's pretty straightforward though, isn't it?
It is absolutely ridiculous that it's more difficult than basketball scorekeeping, baseball scorekeeping. It's volleyball. Like, the ball goes over, right? If it's a point, great. You should just tally a point. You shouldn't have to write these circles and it's ridiculous. It's just not putting a point on the board. If you're working the clock, great, but if you're actually doing the scorekeeper, and I know that volleyball officials can be very particular on how the scorekeeping goes. So, I may have to announce, keep the clock, libero track, and
do the book?
And do the book all at once.
That's a lot.
It's a ton.
We're not paying you enough to do that, are we?
And I might have to work the lines too. But no, I don't want to offend any volleyball scorekeepers out there, but it's just absolutely ridiculous.
It's difficult. The thing at Penn State too was, we had Russ Rose, who was there for a number of years and won national championships and all that. He would keep his own stats too. So on top of the stats that everybody else is keeping or whatever, he had a notebook where he'd just be writing down, who knows what it would even do. But I think there's just, volleyball is one of those, you don't even think about it. It's one of the sports that has a ton of, you're talking about assist percentage, service ace percentage, hitting percentage, kills, that kind of stuff.
So the moral of the story, Tom, is if we have any of the faithful out there that pray, maybe pray for me for Thursday. That's all I'm asking as we try to work on volleyball scoring, whether it's me doing it or the staff that I put together of students that are going to be doing it.
But they there's a pair of games, or a pair of matches coming up. You got Thursday night at 6 where they're hosting Lehigh Carbon,
and then back at it Saturday,
and then back at it at noon on Saturday here in the Union against Delaware Tech.
And those games will be broadcast on our Region 19 television network. I don't know the whole spiel yet. But they will be free.
LackawannaFalcons.com/live.
Yes, all right, good. And those are free to view.
Yes, those are free to view because they aren't charged admission to come in.
And now women's soccer also kicks off on Thursday, and that game I believe is at Shout Stadium in Dunmore. Will we be streaming that one?
Yes, we are. That's what I was just discussing with the big guy.
All right.
Not our big guy anymore, but the
big guy.
Biggest guy.
It's too big for us guy.
Right, yes. I was just discussing that with him. We were going over how to do that with this new technology. We have a pretty good handle on it. But we're hosting Union County College, the Owls, on Thursday, 3:30, I believe the start is for that one at Shout Stadium.
Yep.
So the start of the second year under Coach Tweedy.
Right, and I know Coach Tweedy has been working her girls hard. They've been in the weight room with me also. She's been building up that roster, slowly, but, we got our roster full, and so, there were times when I've been here, going back to 2016, where they would have, 8 girls playing. So the fact that, still that we have a full 11 that we throw out there is good.
It's pretty good.
It is good. So we wish our women's soccer the best of luck, and you want to catch those, I have to learn this, www.LackawannaFalcons/live.
LackawannaFalcons.com/live.
Don't forget the .com. Right. All right, good. And then we can't forget about men's soccer.
That's right.
Because they kick off their start of their regular season, because they have scrimmaged before.
Yes.
This Saturday also.
Yes, Saturday, it's a doubleheader down at Scranton Prep's Loyola Field against Harrisburg Area Community College. So the men play at 12:30, and the women's teams play at 2:30 down at Scranton Prep. But I know Coach Shaposh and his guys have been chomping at the bit to get some actual action. Right. We talk so much about football players getting tired of hitting each other. I think the soccer players are tired of
the same.
seeing each other over and over
And he
again.
did scrimmage, and I know the result on the scoreboard wasn't what anyone would want, but he did like the way that, his guys, performed and stuff too. So he thinks that, they're on their way of having a pretty good season.
Yeah. So I know he's excited to get his guys out there, and similar to everybody else, they've been working hard, passing drills and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're excited to get an actual game under their belts.
Right. And those will also be live streamed?
Yes.
www.lackawannaFalcons.com/live.
There you go.
Yes.
See?
And then I do know, because I announced it during football, that you could get the Region 19 Sports app or something like that?
Yes, it's available on the Region 19 Sports Network app as well.
And it's all Android, Apple, Fire TV?
Yeah, Fire, Roku, I think too.
Okay.
You may have to create an account to see some of that stuff, even if it is free, but you can get all that stuff on there, especially the free things, and you can be able to follow along with Lackawanna College.
Awesome. Good. So see, I think that's really good.
It's fun. We're excited to be there. Again, there's a lot of things I think that we can do as we get further into it that can make it a little above and beyond even what we had been doing to begin with.
Right. So. And then I do have to mention, and I don't want to say it's my fault, Tom, because I like to always say I never make mistakes.
You don't make
mistakes. So since Danny's not here, I'm going to blame Danny.
Okay.
Last week when we talked about all of our athletic teams being here doing stuff, Danny forgot to mention one team, and I'm going to mention it this week for him. We forgot to talk about wrestling. That we also have wrestlers here on campus who are practicing.
I've been seeing them a lot.
Yes.
Like just
and we didn't
back
mention
and forth.
them. Danny didn't mention it last week, or Danny forgot to remind me to mention wrestling. So it's not a suspendable offense yet, but if it happens again, we'll have to suspend them.
We can't have that. No,
well, I don't have the power to suspend them. Either our boss or the boss we'll have to suspend them.
I saw Coach Barbary here last week talking to, I think, his new assistant coach, and they were kind of going over stuff, and I think they were having interviews with some of the wrestlers as they were coming in, but I've seen a couple of them walking back and forth, coming in and out, going to work out, going into the room itself.
So wrestling is still here.
They're getting ready to go, and I think hopefully we'll have a couple more wrestlers. I know had their numbers were down last year, so hopefully we have a couple more.
Yeah, Coach did come by and asked for some weight room times and said that he's firmly believes he's rebuilding the program in the right direction after like a slow year last year.
Yeah, that's good.
With his second year, so hopefully he's making those strides in the right direction. I've been watching a lot on A&E about WWE/WWF bibliography on like some older wrestlers. So I still believe that our guys should be in the squared circle, jumping off the top rope. Still, I think that would be as entertaining as amateur wrestling is. It still doesn't beat just getting on the top rope, jumping off.
You need the professional stuff, right?
Yeah, and stuff too. So, but we do apologize for missing any of our wrestlers last week in our talk about all our athletes are being here. All right, that was a great job. I'm winded.
I know, that's a lot to get through. Yes. We didn't talk about esports, but I know that we just got their rosters last week. I haven't gotten schedules yet as to when they start competing. I know that they're starting up a new sport, if you will, iRacing, which is like car racing more or less, but that they're going to be competing, and I know Teddy Delaney and Bob D were real excited about that. So we'll hopefully have more information on them probably as this week progresses, because their schedules are notorious for starting right away. Without anybody really knowing about it.
So there may not be a media day. There will be a media day, but it may not be leading up to the kickoff, the start of their season.
It will happen at some point.
Yes.
But we'll talk. Of course, we'll have Teddy on,
and
we'll talk about that stuff. I know that they want to do the fundraiser they did last November, down with Bartari. I know that they have that on the books again. That they want to do that and blow that up.
And Teddy likes to come on the show, so we can bring him.
He does. He enjoys it.
He's a talker.
He likes talking about this
he's
stuff,
a talker. He's a talker. So all right. So for all of your Lackawanna Falcon athletic needs, LackawannaFalcons.com. And then we still have Twitter.
Yes, we do.
We still have Facebook.
Yes, we do.
We still have Instagram.
Yes, we do.
We still have Twitch for your esports needs or whatever that may entail. And we have Lackawanna College, LackawannaFalcons.com/live for all of our events.
All of our live events. And don't forget on YouTube to like us, subscribe for us, whatever it is, leave comments, get that algorithm up.
And I did talk to athletic trainer, and this we'll leave that. I did talk to athletic trainer Ryan.
Okay.
He was upset that we were calling him out as being a real Falcons corner fan. So we're going to bring Ryan on the show one day too.
Okay.
Just to say, hey, but he did say he did subscribe.
Okay, good.
Good.
See?
All right, good.
See, sometimes.
And there is a slim chance that you may be talking to Lonnie, so there may be a Lonnie Rice interview.
In between here. Hoping so. If not, we'll catch him next week.
All right, good. Awesome. All right, best of luck to all our Falcons competing this week, all of our Falcons practicing this week, including my son, the firstborn.
That's right.
Yes. All right, we'll be back on the Falcons Corner next week. Take flight, Falcons.